Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA, TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Teams, Turner, Bodden, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North they win, look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off, center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro, New World Order, and The Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classic podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh, lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan, Thompson's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a tip, Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm okay, Conrad. I guess we finally survived the summer.
What? Is it over?
Well, we're into September.
Oh,
I guess
no,
for many people, well, I guess summer ends right September 21st officially.
Oh, I don't know all the details. Here's what I know. It's still warm at my house and I can still get in the pool. So it's still summer.
Yeah. I need to talk about that.
Oh goodness. But I think first we should at least tell everybody what we're doing, because we got a long show today and it is a special show. It's WCW Monday Nitro from September 1st, 1997. So yesterday would have been the anniversary, but what a show this is. This is essentially an Arn Anderson tribute show that gets spoiled by the NWO. And you and I both know how important Arn Anderson is to our lives now, but he's been a part of our lives for a long time. You in real life, but the rest of us, we sort of grew up with Arn Anderson on our TV every Saturday and then every Monday and every Thursday. And now we're getting him almost every Wednesday. Yeah. This is a cool show, to pay homage to one of the all-time greats. And I'm excited to talk about this one, even though I know there's going to be some hard feelings in here.
Yeah, there are going to be some hard feelings in there. And I want to watch this again because I haven't watched it since it happened.
Right.
I know there's been a lot of hard feelings on Arn Anderson's side, but if you look at the entire show, it was kind of a pretty cool tribute to Arn. Am I right? I mean, without that, or am I wrong?
I don't know.
If you remove that segment, I mean, we had Heenan, we had Malenko, we had JJ, DDP, Luger. Looking through here, everybody kind of sent a message to Arn, right? How great he was.
Right.
So if you lift that out, it's probably not a bad tribute show. Am I wrong there?
No.
Am I missing something? Okay.
No, listen, I don't, it just feels like it's all ruined by that one moment. You know what?
Well, yeah.
Let's just jump into it. September 1st, 1997, fire it up on your WWE network, click on In Ring, go down to Nitro, click 97, scroll down, September 1st, 1997. It's a pretty long show. This is the 3-hour era of Nitro. 2 hours and 24 minutes is our runtime today. And we're going to start by tracking it whenever you help us get a countdown. And famously, we've put Lois on the shelf. Now we've got a little help. Chat me up.
Yeah.
Tell us about our 3 count here and let's get going.
Okay. Let's go to one of our low-key big hogs, our glass bottom boat riders. I'm not so sure who it is. We kind of like a surprise, not a build up, as to who it is. So let's go to our,
it's a mystery. That's the wrestling term, right? It's a mystery partner.
Yeah. It's the mask count from Parts Unknown, the mask countdown guy or girl.
Okay.
This is Coach Mark James of Clarendon, Texas, just outside of Amarillo. Proud to be a listener of What Happened When. Proud to be a low-key big hog. And proud to be a part of Slapdick Nation, just like all of you. I'm a college basketball coach in West Texas, and I've been putting Tony and Conrad on my pass list for every single home game for the past 4 years. Yeah, it's done and fun, and I catch a lot of shit for it. But do you think if these two guys are ever in town, I'm going to be known as the slapdick that made them pay for a ticket? No, sir. So if you two fellas or anyone else a part of Slapdick Nation wants to get together and drink some Miller Lite with me after a home game win, hit me up. And as you know, there's nothing more frustrating than watching a watch-along and constantly trying to get the video in sync with Conrad and Tony. So let's get this damn thing off right by pressing play when I say play, not afterwards. And here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, play.
He's not flashy. He doesn't wear expensive robes or fancy trunks. He hung in the shadows most of his career, but he was the best enforcer this sport has ever known. AA Arn Anderson.
As you say something, and then you back it up with action.
He emerged as part of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew and was one of the original members of the Four Horsemen. Along with cousin Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, and Tully Blanchard, they ruled the wrestling scene. To stay on top, they did what they needed to dominate the sport. Among the transformation of members over the 15-year reign, Arn and Flair were the foundation. One of the greatest wrestling technicians ever. He used the ring as a weapon. The enforcer was never afraid to take a shortcut. Climbing into the ring brought him home, and the Four Horsemen were his family members. Besides being the enforcer for many of Ric Flair's successes, Arn racked up many victories in tag competition.
The best in the world, best tag team, period.
AA held the NWA and WCW World Tag Titles with 4 different partners. In singles competition, he owned the WCW World's TV title, punishing his opponents match after match, then finishing them off with the devastating spine buster. Arn Anderson was the TV champion longer than anyone in wrestling history. Never at a loss for words, the enforcer told us like it was. Then he delivered. We will miss Arn's confident march to the ring, the look of determination on his face, and above all, his sheer desire to win. This program is dedicated to the enforcer, AA Arn Anderson. Four Horsemen.
I'm fucking fired up, son.
Good stuff. I'm not too thrilled about the voiceover guy.
Did he make it too serious for you?
Well, it didn't sound authentic.
It wasn't authentic, but you know what? That's what makes wrestling great sometimes. It's just silly, hokey shit, but they applied a silly, hokey voice to a real badass video. And man, you run through all of his accolades, and I don't know, man, I'm on fire for Arn Anderson today. I'm looking forward to this show. And look at this good looking sumbitch right there who don't know how to button his top collar.
Speaking of silly, hokey, right? You know what? I had that shirt at one time.
Yeah. I see it on you. I see that you had it. How about,
no, what I'm saying is recently.
Oh, really?
It went to Goodwill.
Wow.
It did.
You're just throwing money away.
a lot of that Nitro stuff went to Goodwill long before I met you.
I was going to say, dude, that shit, you'd be printing money right now. You could have got you a big old deck with that. Everybody knows you love a big deck.
Big deck. I love a big deck.
You've been telling me you're going to post pictures of your big deck on social.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. Jeff Jones knows somebody at Twitter. He could probably sweet talk them into not deleting it.
Yeah, that's good. And here's the deal. They'll be calling me Big Deck Schiavone.
Oh, if there's one thing you need to know about Schiavone is he's got a big old deck on him.
Yeah, he used to not have, but it's changed.
Well, yeah, it was dilapidated, falling apart. And now thanks to some contractors in Fulton County, you've got like a real badass wooden deck on the back of your house.
Okay. Let's make sure that everybody knows it's Cobb County.
Oh, sorry.
I do not live in Fulton. I do not want anything to do with Fulton County and their taxes.
Tony,
that's why we live in Cobb.
All right. But the contractors, you make sure they live in Cobb as well, right? Because if they're from Fulton, fuck them.
Fulton, fuck them.
Okay.
Because I'm not paying that tax rate that they have in Fulton.
Good
but
God.
that's it. I mean, that's just the way it is. Your tax rate's much higher in Fulton than Cobb. And that's why most people who have a brain in their head live in Cobb County. Now, for those of you living in Fulton County who are listening to this right now, I sure am sorry. And I apologize for your bad decisions. Hey, you know, I look at this.
Hang on now. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, you better read the signs. I just want everybody to know that. You better respect law and order. You'll serve hard times. You'll be serving hard times. Just want to give everybody that heads up about making a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia.
Yeah. I want to say something about this show. That was a hell of an open. I think we agree, right?
Oh yeah. But you hate that they're going right to a package.
No. I kind of get it now. I didn't get it at first. I didn't get much of Arn's anger because, you know, I know how everything in wrestling was.
You know, we should track this. Hang on one second.
Consequently, I'm left with a hand, my left hand, too weak to hold a glass, too weak to button a button. But I thought in my mind, I knew in my mind I could overcome that too, through sheer will. And I was doing just like that. I think I've come back a long way. But the other day I had something happen in the gym that was like a cold slap in the face of reality. A guy about your size, Gene, came up and he slapped me on the back and he said, "Double A, where you been? We hadn't seen you on TV." And just that slap sent a jolt through me and I dropped the water I was drinking. And just for a second, my system shut down and it became crystal clear as I watched the few little drops of water draining out of that bottle. The symbolism that was involved. It was like someone had turned an hourglass over and the sand was running out on the career of Arn Anderson. Now, the fact of the matter is, not only do I put myself in a suicide situation by trying to wrestle again, I endanger these two men's careers, and I respect them too much for that. And other than be anything than the enforcer in my best friend's eyes, I'd rather walk away. And for all you people out there that have ever bought a ticket to see Arn Anderson wrestle, whether you love me or you hated me, you knew that when that bell rang, you got all I had that night. Whether I won, whether I lost, I gave you everything I had. And you knew that. And when you did this to me, that was your acknowledgement. Well, the fact is, I got nothing left to give. And I want you to remember me as I was, not as I am. But being the man that I am, my last act, formerly as a horseman, I got one last challenge. And that's to you, Curt Hennig. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not for a fight. You got something special. I've seen you in this ring. Your skills, your maturity, your commitment to excellence makes you something special. And what my challenge is to you, Curt, is stand beside my best friend, Ric Flair, and lead these two men back to the glory and the prominence that the Four Horsemen once had. And I'm going to tell you what your prize is. It's not a spot with the Horsemen. because this is worth a lot more than that to me. I'm going to give you the only thing I got left. Not a spot, not a spot. I'll give you my spot.
Wow. Curt Hennig.
You know, I know every wrestler that's ever been around or involved in this business we call wrestling who would pass up the honor to not only be a horseman, but to come out and take Arn Anderson's spot as the enforcer of the Four Horsemen. I have only one thing to say. It would be a privilege.
What a fucking cool moment, man.
Yeah, but Arn Anderson, I don't know. In the scheme of the greatest promoters who could cut a promo, you know, we think about Flair, we think about Cornette, think about The Rock, Piper. I mean, you could put Arn Anderson at the top of all that because of he made it real. I mean, he didn't have to scream. He made it real, and now I see why the parody that we are going to see was such a kick in the ass to Arn Anderson. Have you and Arn watched this show together?
No.
Okay. And here's why. Because it was remove that parody spot that we're going to see from this show. Remove it. And you have a great tribute to Arn Anderson.
Yes.
You put it in and you don't. And what do people remember from the show? They remember the parody, I think. So the parody has stood the test of time in our memories and thus erased from our memories how good this show was in a tribute to Arn Anderson. I remember the parody. I didn't remember Luger, DDP, all these guys with the tribute to Arn Anderson. I didn't remember the open, but I remembered in my mind, because I did the show, the one thing I remembered in mind was the parody of Arn Anderson. So the parody erased everything, every good thing that we did. And I remember thinking back then, when I heard Arn was angry, right? I remember thinking, he shouldn't be angry. It's the NWO. That's what they do. They make fun of things. And then now that I'm thinking about it, the parody may have worked better somewhere else, down the road, weeks, months later. So are those valid points, you think?
No, just because they're building the war games. You know, this is not the era where we've got 3 or 4 months. We're trying to do.
Well, even the next week, maybe. Okay.
Well, this is the next week. So that's
the week after this.
Oh, I got you.
Right. I just think it erased all the good memories from Arn Anderson. And well, anyway, we're going to see it. We're going to track it, and it's quite a memorable moment. But I mean, I'm not trying to validate what they did, but that's something that DX would have done. That's something the Inner Circle would have done.
Yeah, absolutely. DX the next year did the whole Nation of Domination parody. They did a head to head with Goldberg beating Hulk Hogan. So July 6th, 98. By the way, we're 13 days away from that pay-per-view, and you see Jeff Jarrett sliding in there. Of course, Jeff Jarrett has been, will he or won't he be a horseman from 96. Well, here we are a year later, and he's feuding with Mongo, and he's teaming up here with Eddie Guerrero. You want to talk about some all-time great performers, man. Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit here on Nitro. We were lucky to have them.
Did you notice Flair's demeanor during Arn's promo?
His lip quivering.
Yep. I have a backstory to that. He wasn't so sure how to bring out that emotion, but Wendy told him what to do, so he did it.
Man, shut the fuck up. Here's the thing. When he came back through the curtain in the back, Sting was touched by the whole Arn Anderson thing because it was a real life situation. This wasn't cooked up in a boardroom. No board of directors or 22-year-old in a suit and tie brought it and said, here's what you're saying tonight. Arn was pouring his guts out here as his farewell to wrestling fans. And it hit, man, because it was real.
Oh yeah, it hit. And it hit Okerlund too. You could see it on his face.
Yeah. By the way, we should mention, we got Eddie Guerrero and Jeff Jarrett on the left. Our referees, Mark Curtis, and then, Brian Hildebrand in real life. And then he's got Chris Benoit and Mongo as his opponents. Deborah's on the outside. So unfortunately, literally everyone in the ring has passed away right now. Mark Curtis, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero no longer with us.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Anyway,
it just shows you what 20 plus years will do in the scheme of your life, and guys who are in such great shape and seemingly could live forever. I hate to say this, but as much as I love Vicky Guerrero, every time I see Vicky or Shaw, I think of Eddie.
Right. What's wrong with that?
And with that, I just think about, because I mean, you know, Vicky had a very good career, and she still does. I mean, she's Nyla Rose's manager now, but she had a very good career in the WWE. But you just think of, I don't know, I just think of the death of Eddie when I see her, and I hate to think of that because I love Vicky so much. It's just, and I think that's just my thinking of how great Eddie Guerrero was. Take a look at what we're seeing here. How ferocious he fucking is with those European uppercuts, and how Benoit can sell it. These two fuckers.
They're laying it in, Bubba.
Yes, sir. They were I don't think, has there ever been a bad bad match Eddie Guerrero was involved in? Tag team or singles?
I can't think of one.
No. There's never going to be anybody like him again. And man, when I see him perform on all these shows, I just really miss him as a heel, as a babyface. Oh, and a shout out to Mark Curtis too. He was Brian Hildebrand. He was
one of the best.
Yes, he was. And I don't know. Oh, we're going to take a break because we're brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. People who don't use KY jelly. We'll be back.
Have you ever had sex with a motor oil?
No.
I imagine it would sting.
I imagine it would too. Have you ever had it with Crisco?
No, Crisco.
Mm-hmm.
My God, are you going to tell me you once slathered up a beehole with Crisco?
No, but I know some people who have.
Really?
Yeah, back in the days in Craigsville.
Well, I'll be damned. Well, it seems like they would have just tried Pam.
Yeah, that's or WD-40.
Oh, I meant a lady named Pam. You meant the spray. I got you.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
You cut me off earlier, or I cut you off because I said, no, it's still summer because we can still get in the pool. And then you said, oh, I've got a story about that. And I said, we got to get in the show. It's a damn 3-hour show. And I feel like you're looking for a sidebar, and everybody knows when we're going to talk sidebars, Jeff Jarrett's got to be in the ring, AKA the human fast forward button.
Mm-hmm. So I go to the Con Radisson, as many know, because we did our, if you are with us on Patreon, we did our bonus shows from the Con Radisson. So I was at the Con Radisson, and absolutely just a wonderful place to be. Wonderful place. It is. It is absolutely a wonderful place to be. It is like a resort in many ways. I mean, you go, you forget your trunks. Sure did. We got them. You forget your sunglasses. Sure did. We got a whole rack of them. Suntan oil. You forget that. Yep. Here's a whole cabinet full of it. And just a wonderful place. Infinity pool. By the way, you need something to heat up that fucking water.
I have a heater, Bubba, but it's fucking August, or it was when you were here. I'm turning on a heater in August.
Yes, just a little bit.
It's called the sun, Tony. You get in the pool when the sun's out. You kept climbing in when the clouds were out. It was a little chilly.
Freeze my ass. What did the fans pop for big here? I missed that. I looked down.
Gotta be Jeff Jarrett losing, right?
Okay. So I go there and I just have a wonderful time in the sun, but the realization came to me, and this is honest, this is true, that I'm just too old to hang with you guys.
What does that mean?
I am. I'm just the life of hanging out drinking vodka and having a good time. It just, I can't hang anymore. In other words, as well, look at that. Fuck. Fans popped for that, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, as Lois would say, you're a fucking lightweight. And I am. I left the Conrad Edison thinking, man, that was a good time, but I don't know if I could do that on a regular basis. Well, like you fuckers do. Like you and Cassio and Silva.
No, Cassio doesn't drink, Bubba.
Yeah.
He hasn't drank this year. He made one exception, and that's when we went to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Pre-pandemic. We went to the Vegas for Super Bowl, and he drank there, but that's it. Not since.
Well, he drank enough in St. Louis. We had that live show for a whole year anyway. So
yeah, so even still, that was more than a year ago. I think that was like last June. So he's due. Yeah. He's due.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, but and your friends, you have other friends that come and hang, and I just can't do it, man. It's passed me by. I realized on the drive back to Atlanta for the first time, and I've been, look at these fans are just these fans are into this shit, man.
Yes, they are.
I've realized for the first time that, well, I'm old. I'm way old. So the next time I come to the Conrad Edison, you guys just hang out the pool. And I'm just going to go sit in there and watch Netflix or something.
Now here's the thing. In fairness, you've been to my house probably 30 times. You've been in the pool fucking one time, and that one time was enough to say I don't want to do this again.
It's not the pool. It's just it's just I'm just old. Okay. Look at Malenko coming in. The fans are into all this shit, man. Where was this? Charlotte, North Carolina?
Dude, look at the crowd. That'll get it done. Here's the deal. They just want to see Jeff Jarrett lose because Jeff Jarrett's outfit is heat. It's heat.
Yeah.
Something about him. You just want to hit that motherfucker.
Good start to the show, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even they pop with Mongo winning.
Mongo was over.
Tell Matt Coon that.
They're in Pensacola, Florida here, by the way.
All right. Pensacola. All right.
But you know what? If Arn was going to have a tribute show done, he was probably glad it was in Pensacola.
Right.
His favorite wrestling territory. He's talked about that a lot. Oh, how about this? Lex Luger, track it.
And worst of enemies, you've always been a fierce competitor. On behalf of myself, all the other wrestlers, and WCW fans, a happy retirement. We're going to miss you, bud.
The weekend's #1 wrestling program is WCW Saturday Night.
No, that's actually not the weekend's #1 wrestling program. It's ECW.
Well, you think I should have said that right there?
Yeah, I would have been
dumbass.
My God, you don't like when I give you shit. You're so sensitive.
No. You confuse me with a feller named Taz.
Oh God, I'm not
about being sensitive.
By the way, we'll just talk off air.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get killed on my own show. Lois, let's talk about it. She did her Ask Lois Anything.
Has it dropped already?
She lived. By the time everybody's hearing this, yes, it's dropped. Evan made the executive decision, which I let him do over at adfreeshows.com. He said, "Oh, we got to get Aaron first. Lois goes last." And I'm like, "What does it matter?" And he says, "Brother, everybody knows Lois is the main event." And I'm like, "Okay, I can't argue that. Here we go."
Don't need to tell her that.
Oh, I didn't tell her that, but I got to tell you, I think Aaron might actually be the main event. We at least know some of Lois's personality. Oh, look at this. Scott Hall taking over the announce desk. Let's track it.
Whoa. Just stay. Just wait. Hey, you guys don't have to run off. Just stay. We want to say Happy Labor Day, P-Cola from the NWO. I can't think of a more fitting holiday than Labor Day to highlight the New World Order. We're the reason everybody's here tonight. We're the reason everybody's watching at home. And it's simple. We're the working man's champion. We're doing it for all the little people. All the people like Zbyszko here who never had nothing going on in their life. They can live through the NWO. We're the guys, you know, there's people sitting out there who have jobs they hate. And they want to tell their boss to stick it. But they can't. Well, the NWO, we come out here time after time, and we just tell WCW to stick it.
Hey, you must have been hanging out with Hogan. You got something on your nose.
You need to leave before Scott Hall gets real mad. Labor Day, the working man's holiday. Larry Zbyszko, listen to this, brother, because Diamond Dallas Page and the total package Lex Luger, they're not going to have a holiday today. Because Scott Hall and the Macho Man, later on tonight, if they can get their unity together, if they can quit backstabbing each other long enough for them to get down that aisle, well, then I'll guarantee you one thing. We're going to give them a permanent holiday for the rest of their lives because we are undefeated and we are it. Yeah, we are.
And for all the NWO fans out there, don't worry because we'll just keep being too sweet.
I love those segments. It felt real.
Mm-hmm. How about Zbyszko with the tissue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Might have something on your nose. Now, of course, people looking for dirt would say, oh, does that mean Hogan's doing cocaine again?
Right.
No, he's talking about brown nosing.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
When was the first time you saw a wrestler use cocaine?
I've never seen a wrestler use cocaine.
Really?
I've never seen anyone use cocaine. I've never been to a party where someone says, I'm going to snort something and I've seen it. I've seen people, smoke dope, have edibles.
God. Listen to how old you are. Smoke dope. Were they smoking fucking crack?
I've seen marijuana. I've seen marijuana use and that's it. I've never seen anyone snort cocaine. I've never done it and I've never seen anyone do it. So there you go. I've seen them do it in the movies. That's how fucking uncool I am, I guess.
Let's talk about this. If you were going to do cocaine, and we know you're not, but if you were going to, would you want to do it A, off of a fingernail, B, off of a key, to a house, C, a line off of a hard surface like a mirror or a table, or D, off a boob?
D. I knew that choice was going to be in there one way or the other. I'm just waiting for it.
Oh, wait, hang on. I didn't give you the last one. Or E, any part of Tom Zink in 2012.
D.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Didn't want to say Tom Zink present day. That would be difficult.
Sometimes I sit down here and I listen to what we're saying.
And it's stupid.
Yeah. And I think, what in the fuck am I doing?
No, I think that every week.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised we haven't been banned from life yet,
And then I look at the windows in my house and the nice hardwood floors and I go, oh, that's what I'm doing. I get it now.
Well, I'm glad you had fun for the most part at my house last weekend. We had fun with you. You introduced me to Young Frankenstein, which I'd never seen. Going to get a lot of hate tweets about that. make sure you get my handle right. Is that, hey, it's Conrad. But yeah, for the first time ever, I watched Young Frankenstein, and you sort of goaded the whole process because you said a line and I was like, I just looked at you and you could tell it wasn't registering with me. And you said Young Frankenstein. And I'm like, oh, I never saw it. And you were like, how the fuck is that possible? So we cranked it up and ta-da, checked it out.
Yeah. It's a show you got to watch a couple of times. I really do.
I forgot to tell everybody the big surprise. While we were hanging out downstairs, floating around, shooting the shit, rebooking the territory, somebody said somebody say something about sandwiches. And we had sandwiches delivered to the house. Megan is obsessed with this new local place that makes these weird concoctions.
They're good, man.
And I got the Cuban, and Megan says, oh, you need to get the so-and-so, Tony. And I said, they got something on there. They should rename the Schiavone. Keep reading about all the sandwiches. He'll know the one that's for him when you say it. And sure enough, they had a Spam sandwich, but it wasn't just a Spam sandwich.
No.
It was Spam and kimchi.
Man.
Not Kamala's handler, the food. And you had a Spam and kimchi sandwich at the Conradison. A, when was the last time you had Spam? And B, did you ever think you'd have it at my house?
No. Last time I had Spam was probably, I'm thinking maybe 5 years ago. And the bad news is that I've had, like, our buddy Paul Bromwell.
Yeah.
Sent me like 4 cans of different flavored Spam. And every time I go into the pantry, I see those and I think, I've got to eat those, but I can't because I want to try to keep my weight down. And then, of course, there's a lot of vodka involved. And Megan was running over the list of sandwiches. And when she got to Spam, it was immediately just like you saying, or D on a boob. I went Spam. And the kimchi was smoking, not temperature, but spicy hot.
Yep.
And I think I pulled off some of the kimchi because it was just burning my ass up. But man, Spam sandwiches, I am all in of that.
I can't believe that we have a place in town that delivers Spam sandwiches, but we do.
Yeah. I almost wanted to say as I was pushing it down my gullet, look at this, Conrad, hobo food at the Conradison.
Yeah.
It was great. Mortis
on top with Silver King. Looks like he's going to do. Oh man, that's gotta be the end.
That is it.
Chris Dickinson, aka Sling Blade, counts to 3. Here comes Wrath, and look how dark it is on the other side. I like it, this color, the lighting like this.
Yeah. I've always liked lighting darker. JR would tell you that the lighting needs to be darker because the fans will cheer more if they're in the dark.
Really?
Yeah. He always, now I don't know if he still feels that way, but I remember back in the day, he says, these fans don't need to be lit. They need to be dark. He said, we can see the fans.
Oh man, here they come. I would not want to be on the opposite side of Haku.
No. Yeah, watch out. Wrath wanted to pull Barbarian down with him. Barbarian more than willing to. So here's the deal. All things being equal, these two fuckers can beat everybody in the building.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And I'm talking about not only the boys in the dressing room, I'm talking about anybody in the stands,
parking lot,
who thinks they're a bad old boy. Yes, sir. There he is, one of my favorite people of all time. Of all time.
So when you're making a trip back, I'm interested in this because as we were winding down, you and I had a little heartfelt moment. And you said, I think I'm going to come over more often. And I said, really? And you said, well, yeah, if you'll have me. And I said, Tony, of course you're welcome anytime. You're one of my best friends. You should come over more often. We would love to have you. He said, I think I will. I'm going to start spending weekends over here. And then now today you're saying, no, I can't come back. I'm dying.
No, I'm going to come back. I really am. wonder if Spice is available to take a ride to. No, she's married.
No, but she could still, come over, do a little bonus show.
A bonus show. Let's take you back to Bash of the Beach, 1994. Arn Anderson is going to give him a fucking DDT.
He was ready to make the hot tag and happy to be in there. And of course, immediately turned his back on Dustin, DDT'd him and pulled Terry Funk on top. You got to love a good Arn Anderson heel turn.
Oh, everything Arn Anderson did was tremendous. And you've gotten to know him a lot better since since you started doing Arn with him. Is his humor coming out?
A little bit, he's still playing it all close to the vest. He's not nearly as loose as you are, but Eric was sort of tight at first and he's loosened up. And I told Eric after we finished taping just this morning, I said, man, I don't know what changed, but all of a sudden it feels like we're clicking really, really well. We've got some sort of streak going now with really good shows in a row. And he said, it's funny you say that. I feel the same way. And he admitted, he said, it's on me. He said, you've always given me plenty to do. Just my approach had to change to this. And now I'm having fun and I get it. And as a result, we've had several really good shows in a row. Last week's was over 4 fucking hours and it didn't have to be. The show we were covering was like 250, but it was just a great show. And there was so much backstory, and when he's engaged, I'm engaged, and it just becomes infectious. And I think with Arn, he's still very cautious because Arn by nature is a very classy individual and well respected by everyone.
Right.
And I think Arn is very careful to not just, if me and you and him were sitting around the bar having a beer and he had an O'Doul's, he might say, look at this, and then make some sort of joke that we would know is in good natured fun, but out of context, someone could maybe get their feelings hurt. I think he's careful to make sure that doesn't happen very often on the show.
Yeah.
So like when I ask a Hunter, not a Hunter, but a Vince question, he'll just pause for like what seems like forever. And then he'll say, no comment. Now I'm sure in real life, me and you could get him going and he'd cut a hell of a promo, but on the show, he's like, how do I say this without, no comment.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff he still doesn't want to talk about, which I get. I don't think he probably wants to talk about the parody we're watching today. I know he doesn't want to talk about the Sid thing in England. And I get that, but literally everyone else has talked about both, including Sid, including Kevin Nash, including Eric Bischoff. But I'm not going to make him do something he didn't want to do. What type of partner would I be?
Right. Well, he's, then we'll just have to enjoy, the humor of Marty Lundy as we really know it, on our own.
Well, here's the thing. I think what we can do, and I want to do this for adfreeshows.com. And the original plan was I was going to come down to Jacksonville and hang out between your, Dynamite that's happening tonight and this coming weekend's All Out, which I'm sure we're going to talk about at some point.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey man, we'll get a bunch of content, and Arn in person will be quite different. And then of course the damn Dark Order had to ruin all my fucking plans and put Cody on the shelf. So I don't even know that Arn will be there if Cody's not there. And I don't have any inside track. I just know they put quite the beat down on him. So we'll see what happens.
Wait a minute. That fat motherfucker needs to get his ass down to Jacksonville.
I don't disagree, but you're going to have
he ain't doing nothing here. Let me give you a little backstage stuff. Okay. When we did our the one on the 27th of August.
Yeah.
Okay. That Thursday night show, which by the way, did a very good number for us, which I'm very proud of. So we did that show and I'm back there with Malenko and I said, where's Marty? He said, oh, Cody's not booked in this show because he's hurt and Arn's not coming. I said, wait a fucking second. So I sent him a text. I said, Malenko's here. Tully's here. I'm here. You need to get your fucking fat ass to work. And he didn't respond to me at all. Like he was on vacation. So I'm telling you, he needs to get motherfucker.
Why are you so fired up?
I'd almost call him right now and surprise him and get him on here, but I'm not going to do that.
Hey, by the way, I feel like we should mention over the weekend, we lost one of your superhero favorites. Chadwick Boseman passed away way too young. I think he was 42 or 43.
Yep.
And it came out after the fact that his entire Marvel run, he was battling cancer and he ultimately lost that battle. Man, what a story that is, huh?
That is a story. And what a great superhero he was. Black Panther was tremendous and he made that character, and that shocked me. We also need to say that we lost Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Oh my gosh.
I would invite, and I said this on our Zoom chat that we had recently, because JR and I, the day after Bob, I was over JR's in Jacksonville Beach, and JR and I were talking about Bullet Bob Armstrong, and he pulled up an interview that I did with Bob Armstrong and Brad Armstrong from the old TBS studios. And Jim was saying, listen to this, because Jim had obviously seen it. He said, watch how he makes everything seem real and how he puts over not only himself, but all the other baby faces on the card. And it is it's a textbook babyface interview, old school interview. So go to YouTube if you can find it, and see if it's like Bullet Bob and Brad talking to Tony Schiavone from TBS. It's just amazing. He was one of the, we talked about Arn Anderson's interviews being real. Bullet Bob was the same way. And I had a lot of time for him. Well, I had a lot of time for everybody in the family, just good people. And he will be very, very sorely missed. And I know, Jim Cornette used him at Smoky Mountain, and we used him on TBS, and he was just brings you back old school, doesn't it?
Bullet Bob was the man. Like, even when my dad was growing up, Bullet Bob was like the top guy, that they would see on TV and when people went to wrestling matches. So it's just, he's always been around, and it's so weird that now there's a world without Bullet Bob Armstrong. And, it's worth mentioning. I don't know why this is. And I think you're going to agree with me. I think it might even be a Southern bias, but why aren't the Armstrongs talked about as being one of the great wrestling families of all time? Why is it always just about the Harts? Why is it always about the Von Erichs? Why is it always just about the Guerreros? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that those families don't have great legacies. Of course they do. I'm just saying we should include the freaking Armstrongs. Are you kidding?
Oh, I agree. And I think Southern bias has a lot to do with it. Dragon screw leg whip. I knew that move. But yeah, it has a lot to do with the biases and of the biases of the South, which for those of you who have a bias against the South, guess what? You've never lived here, so you don't fucking know how great it is to live in the South. But Bullet Bob Armstrong and Brad and Steve, Brian, Scott.
Dude, I mean, see, you just keep going, and it's like, man, this is wrestling royalty right here. And we just talk about the Samoans or the Harts or the Von Erichs how about the fucking Armstrongs? Let's give them a little love. What's up with that?
And when you met them in real life, like I had a chance to do and work with them, they are also humble and had such a great sense of humor and just good kids. And that's a product of their dad.
How about, and Road Dogg went to freaking war, by the way, was a Marine, did the Gulf War deal. And,
made more money than the rest of them too, by the way.
How about Scott Armstrong? He's a good old boy like me and you. Like he knows how to make biscuits. He eats fried chicken. Like he's a real Southerner.
Steve was one of the Pistols or the Young Guns, or just tremendous. By the way, how's Tracy Smothers? Have you had an update on him?
Haven't heard from him in a little bit. I need to get an update.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite tag teams, though. If you don't know what we're talking about Steve Armstrong and Tracy Smothers. They were the, what they call themselves, the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys and the Young Pistols, something like that.
Young Pistols. Yeah, but they called themselves both at one time.
Just one of the more underrated tag teams from the early 90s in WCW. How about Yuji Nagata here and Dean Malenko stealing the show?
Well, thanks to Jeff Jarrett, who came out again, by the way.
I'm just saying that was a good match. Yuji Nagata was not normally, oh man, they blurred that sign. Oh, I had to say WWF.
Yeah, it must have. I've seen a couple of blurred signs before.
Probably blurring the WWF.
Okay, that's what they're doing. That throw by Yuji Nagata. And here comes the finish. So yeah, so again, back to our original point, rest in peace, Bullet Bob. He makes you think of Southern wrestling, which by the way, was fucking tremendous. Give a shit what anybody says. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Continental Wrestling, Florida, Championship Wrestling from Florida. The Fullers in Tennessee, it was all good shit. I don't know what they called their Tennessee territory back then, or even if they had one. Of course, Memphis. You want to track this?
Oh, absolutely.
The first word that comes to my mind is respect. Because when you got in that ring, you gave it all.
So we got some nice words from Lex Luger, some from DDP. DDP not quite comfortable doing promos yet in 97.
Right.
But he's a work in progress, as we all are. And man, I love this Nitro set. I'd really like to have that set up outside of my garage. So as I exit my house and get into my garage, I could do a little intro, get in my cars and go to work. By the way, I found out this past weekend when you're hanging out, you're not a ride around guy.
You know, I really am.
But I try to get you to ride around.
I thought you were ribbing me.
No. Here's the deal. You have to appreciate, I'm usually a fairly social person. So I would go to 3 or 4 restaurants a week, 2 or 3 bars a week. You know, I'd be at the office every day. Usually I'd bounce back and forth from a retail branch and corporate. And I'm all over the place. So, and a lot of that comes from, when I was first starting my working career, my working life, I was a traveling salesman. So I was driving, 2,000 miles a week sometimes. So I just like to get out and about. And so now during the pandemic, as you saw, I don't go anywhere. Like right. If we're going to quote unquote, go out to eat, they're bringing it here. We're not leaving. And so we got the home theater set up and we can order new movies and we can splash around in the pool and you can pretty much do what you want to do at my house and not have to leave. And so I'm not going to leave. Like even my groceries, I know everybody told me when the pandemic was first happening, oh man, the grocery stores are packed. Well, here's what I heard. I ain't going. There's a service that'll deliver groceries to your house for a little more. Well, I just don't want to deal with it. So I have yet to go through a grocery store and see 400 people in masks. I just don't do that. Like bring that shit to my house. So I just go right around like once a day, just to pass the time and see, something besides my 4 walls and the trees behind my house,
Right.
So when me and you were sitting on the couch or in the den for, I don't know, like 90 minutes, I said, hey man, want to go ride around? And you're like, fuck no. And I was like, okay, noted.
And then I was told, I'm not so sure who told me this, maybe Casio or Silva, that, yeah, that's what he likes to do. And I went, really? Because when you grew up in Craigsville, Virginia, and you grew up white trash and you grew up in a very small town, mountain town, that was the big deal to go out and cruise because that's all there was. And so we used to cruise all the time and we didn't have many streets to cruise around in, but we took laps. We had one policeman. He knew who we were.
Right.
And we just cruised around all the time. And sometimes we pull over at Daniel Motor Company and sit outside and sit on the hoods of our cars and watch cars go by because it was a highway kind of that went down through the middle of town.
I love Sonny Ono coming to the ring here. He's got a framed picture that he took, which is so great. Like we've always seen him doing the whole selfie thing and taking pictures, but we've never seen him come out with a framed picture. But of course he's real proud of himself turning on his former client, Ultimo Dragon. And here he comes And what a treat this should be, boys and girls. La Parka with Sonny Ono in his corner, taking on Ultimo Dragon. Boy, this is Nitro just like I want it to be. Sorry, get back to your hillbilly riding around stories.
No, I just, no, I agree. It's this Nitro, like we want it to be, is probably more important than me talking about the hillbilly in Craigsville, Virginia. But
no, do it.
But really, riding around was a big deal, and I love riding around. But man, here we are, like at, I don't know, 2 a.m. in Alabama, and I'm thinking, man, you and I ride around, we're going to end up in the jail. He's got to be ribbing me. So, yeah, I just think maybe I'm wrong, but I just think life has changed, and not for the better, from the 60s and 70s, especially the 70s when I lived in Craigsville, Virginia, when everybody knew everybody and everybody was okay, and we knew the policemen. And
well, I mean, here's the thing: in Huntsville, I know the policemen and I know everybody.
Okay.
So,
okay, all right.
While Huntsville's a big town, it's not so big that I don't know a lot of them. But also too, I wasn't worried. It's not like we were drunk or high, and it's not like I was going to go be a speed racer. It's just nice to, drop the top, ride around, just talk about life. And
well, we're going to do it next time then, because I thought you were ribbing me.
No. And and I'd like to do that in your area too, where you could say, oh, here's where Chris went to school. And, here's where I used to do little league with so-and-so, and here's whatever. I don't know, just learning about different areas. And I know that's silly, but that's what I do almost every day.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Meanwhile, we're seeing some pretty good acrobatic shit here.
Oh, we definitely are. Ultimo Dragon is one of the most underrated performers of all time. I think if I was going to make like a fantasy all-time roster, Ultimo Dragon has a spot on that card somewhere.
The Parka doing some pretty good shit here as well.
Absolutely. I'd like to have both of these guys in said fantasy league that we're going to book one day.
Said fantasy league. Yeah, he could do a lot of great shit, man.
Maybe one of these days we'll get you to do like the Matt Cardona gimmick, and we'll do a whole podcast where you're just playing with figures. And you sort of book a whole card. But I just assume every time, once there's a Tony Schiavone figure, I assume that Tony Schiavone figure is going to become infamous with Francine figures all over Twitter.
Oh, really?
And Medusa figures and Deborah figures. I just assume somebody's going to find a way to put your ass in a makeup chair. Just freestyling.
Like there'd be like Nitro Girl figures that I could dance with. That wouldn't be bad.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. So yeah, it's, so next time you say, you want to go for a ride, I'm going to say that motherfucker's serious.
Yeah. It's just, something to do.
Yeah.
I'd taken a nap that day and you had not, but you're on that wrestler schedule. You sleep late and you stay up late. I'm not. So I wake up super early. And that day in particular, I took a 2-hour nap and then I was back good to go. And you were still rip roaring at midnight. So I'm like, hey man, let's go ride around. Fuck no. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. That wrestler schedule, I've always kind of had that. And that's just the way it is. I mean, like for instance, what time did you wake up this morning? Local time.
6:30.
Okay. I woke up at 10.
Yeah.
Eastern. And it's only because Lois sent me a text and the text read something to the effect of, get your ass up. We got to give your dog medicine because the bug's not going to move without me. And I looked at the clock and went, shit, man. Cause I try to get up between 7 and 8 every morning that I'm here, but I just kind of slept in and.
Oh, we should talk about that too. You're sleeping better than ever, right?
Yeah. I was getting ready to say because of the CPAP machine, I have I sleep and get up feeling very, very good. And my days, I feel much better.
We should mention that to everybody here because Dave Silva's on a CPAP machine this year too. And all of that comes from influence from Jim Ross, and everybody's sleeping better than ever. And JR takes great pride in the fact that he's helping extend your life You know, we lost an Armstrong. Brad Armstrong apparently passed away from sleep apnea, according to Jim Ross.
Right.
And, of course, Reggie White and so many others. But you're doing real damage to your heart. And I don't think a lot of people think of that. They just think, oh, I'm just not a good sleeper. And for instance, I didn't know much about that, but you know, Megan owned Sleep Labs forever and ever. So she's really familiar with it. Well, she told me the first time we hung out, oh, Dave Silva has sleep apnea. And I said, how do you know? Like, we've been around the guy for 3 hours and he knows he's got sleep apnea. She said, yeah, he fell asleep sitting up. I'm like, oh, he's just sleepy. She's like, yeah, because he has sleep apnea and he doesn't sleep worth the shit. And so sure enough, when Dave went and got tested, he had sleep apnea. And I was like, damn, Megan's like she knew that just from, oh, he fell asleep sitting up. Oh, he's probably got it. And ta-da, his quality of life is through the roof. And I'm sure you have the same story.
Yep. It's wonderful. It's really, really good. And, I feel, healthier. I feel, more alive during the day. And I would certainly suggest anybody out there who thinks who has tired during the day and snores a lot at night, give that a shot and see if it doesn't change your life, because it has. It's changed mine. WCW Monday Nitro. Let's take you back to this.
Track it.
You listen up, because all I got to say is I'm AA, baby. Just like Amco Transmissions. I will give you a lifetime guarantee on injury.
Yeah, that New York Yankee hat on. That's how he first came into Crockett Promotions, wearing that New York Yankees hat. And I don't know the story behind that. Maybe because he was in the South and he just wanted to get some heat. I'm not sure.
Yeah, of course. He's in Braves territory. That's heat.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of heat.
Yeah, here he comes. Buff Bagwell himself. By the way, Buff was just in a single car accident a few weeks ago.
Right.
And wound up in the hospital. But I hear through the grapevine that he's okay. So that's good to hear. Glad he's on the mend and feeling better.
Yeah, I am too. I really am. You know, we give Buff a lot of shit on our podcast. We get a lot of people a lot of shit on our podcast, but we don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody.
Well, you know, listen, here's the deal. The rumor and innuendo is that Buff has maybe had his demons over the years and struggled with addiction here or there. And I'm very sympathetic to that. Somebody who's been a really important part of my life, had similar struggles and situations. So I became much more familiar and aware, and I'm very sympathetic to that. And I hope that that's not the case. And I hope that he's pulled the nose up. And if he hasn't yet, I hope he becomes one of the great success stories in wrestling, because there are a lot of people who have come through that profession and they become a little dependent on prescription medication to sort of cope with the aches and pains that this business brings. And before you know it, they've probably taken too much and things are out of hand. And if that was ever the case for him, I hope that he's on the right track now and has a full, happy life with peace and contentment.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly.
How about
as we
Glacier
move on
here?
here, let me ask you about Glacier.
Let's talk about it, because this is quite the presentation. I mean, obviously it's too little too late, but we've got the snow, we've got the lasers, he's got all the gear. I mean, it's quite the presentation.
So why didn't it work?
It was too late. I think if this was in 90, see, this is spoofed off of Mortal Kombat. And the thing about that is you're 3 years too late on this. If you debuted this in 94, perhaps even 95, the shit would have been hot. But by this point, it's cooled off quite a bit. And now you've got this cartoonish shit that really and truly is in stark contrast to the NWO. It's got, the NWO feels real. This feels silly. Ha ha. The game came out, Mortal Kombat, in like fall of 92.
Right.
So 93 would have been ideal. 94 probably would have been the height of the game and controversy and sequels and all that jazz. But I mean, look, Bagwell now just mocking him, because the NWO thing strangely feels even more real. And by the way, I feel bad for Ray Lloyd, because great guy, good trainer. I mean, just a hell of a human. And he's forever sort of this less than desirable character in wrestling history. And that's a shame.
Let me ask you this, and I want to ask our listeners this too. What you think of this? Do you think that, okay, let's say we did the character earlier.
Right.
And the person being Glacier would have been an Asian character. Would that have been better? Or would that have been too like cliche-ish and stereotypical and wouldn't have worked?
I mean, yeah, I could see how you would say maybe it should have been cast as someone else, but
right.
I think the biggest thing is it just should have been earlier, you know, like Mortal Kombat was in 92, Mortal Kombat 2 was in 93, Mortal Kombat 3 was in 95. And that's when the movie came out, was 95.
Right. That's right.
So, you know, anywhere in there, it makes sense, but here the game's not as hot. And by this point you're presenting something differently. I mean, you go back in time to that era, you're talking about Dungeon of Doom stuff. We got a goddamn Yeti. We got a man dressed up like a shark.
Yeah.
I mean, we're suspending a lot of disbelief in that era. This is different now. And I just think it's timing most of all.
Yeah, I agree.
That could just be me.
No, they were all valid points. I agree with all that. And the fact that when the Mortal Kombat movie came out, buddy, the Schiavone boys flocked to the theater for that one.
Of course. I mean, what they're trying to spoof here is the Sub-Zero character.
Right.
And I mean, I guess you could argue that, hey, it should have been an Asian character, but I don't think even in the movie Sub-Zero was portrayed as being Asian.
I think Sub-Zero just had a mask, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, you didn't see exactly who he was, but
I'm saying the guy who played him in the movie is a guy named Keith Cook.
Oh.
And Keith Cook is sometimes credited as Keith Cook Hirabayashi. So I guess he's supposed to be of Asian descent. I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, it's,
he should have had dark hair. I mean, if you wanted to get critical of that, maybe we should have done that.
Right. Long, dark hair, maybe tied up in a man bun or even like dreadlocks or something like that. Something, you know, very,
maybe you would have gotten in trouble if you would have ripped off Raiden, but Raiden's the guy who had like the pointy hat.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Sub-Zero and Raiden are like the two primary. I mean, Johnny Cage, I guess, was the guy that the thing was based on. I don't know. Raiden and Sub-Zero to me are the two more iconic Mortal Kombat characters that I remember from that era.
I remember going to the theater and it was New Line Cinema, and the New Line Cinema logo came flying in like they would do. And they played the Mortal Kombat music. Dun, 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 and somebody, Mortal Kombat. The kids in the theater went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
For it. I mean, it was something. Now,
fucking great song though.
Yeah, it was a great song. This entrance that we've just seen is good. It's well done. See, I'm getting fired up. Here it comes. Say it. Bum, 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 bum. Man.
Wait a minute. I got an idea.
Okay.
What if just for a minute?
Okay.
What if WCW would have just ripped off a little bit of ECW? You know how when New Jack came to the ring, they just played that rap song, Natural Born Killers, on full blast the entire match? Not as entrance music, but it was it was like getting your ass whooped to a soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should have done for this Glacier match. And from here forward, anytime there's a Glacier match, we're just going to. How about this though? if we ran this show based on what Steve Kaufman thought we should or shouldn't do,
I get you.
I'm going to come chip up your new hardwoods.
Ooh.
God, that's so silly. By the way, I do like the idea of playing the Mortal Kombat song the entire time, and I think it would have worked. It could have helped for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been great for the entrance. Been a tremendous entrance.
But play it all the way through. Here's the thing. Here's what you could have done. You could have booked him a little bit like Goldberg in that he's beating everybody quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of his matches could be quick, and you could have changed the lights even to where the lights over the ring right now were like different colors and lasers and all that. Just change it all. If you're going to have a fight with Glacier, it's going to be under combat rules or whatever. And then you play that stupid song and they hit instead Blockbuster Jones, scrape his ass up. We're done.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You and I should have been fucking booking back then because that's good stuff.
You had an opportunity to, and whenever they presented you some stupid shit, you said, "Oh, sounds great. Can't wait." Thanks, boss.
It is. Track it.
Oh, here we go.
Today, Arn, unfortunately, yours came way too soon. Almost a legendary career, but you are wrestling history.
What a shit thing to say.
It's
almost a legendary career, but you're wrestling history.
Well, that's Larry Zbyszko.
Cigar Store Indian.
Oh my God. Can we track this?
Yeah.
He has helped forge the sport for what it is today. Here is Roddy Piper.
I started fighting pro when I was 15 years old.
Time to pay the piper now.
Look at the eyes on that man right there. Watch this, watch this. That's the Piper I know. That's the fight I've seen in this man since he entered this sport. That's what Roddy Piper does best.
You know how proud of my children I am, man.
There's steady in his eyes and there's thunder in his heart.
I am proud. For the last 20th century in my sport, I have been the Braveheart.
21 action-adventure movies to his credit, a man who certainly, when he steps in the ring, is one of the most fierce competitors in wrestling history, and certainly one of the biggest stars of Hollywood, splitting time between in the ring and on the silver screen. Hopefully, we look forward to seeing the return of Roddy Piper to WCW Monday Nitro very, very soon, Mike, today.
What happened to my voice? Where did it go?
Sounded good, didn't it?
It sounded good there, man. I just don't have it anymore. Age. I mean, I can still, to some extent, but I can't do a 3-hour show like I used to be able to do. I can tell you that.
You can. You just don't, put forth any effort or try or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did someone to tell you that?
No. I mean, I'll listen to the show,
Oh. Here's Villano 4 and Villano 5.
Now, how could you tell the difference between the two?
Look at their trunks, dumbass.
I meant in real life backstage.
Oh, I don't know.
You rat soup eating motherfucker. Well, here's the thing. Like,
someone did some blade jobs on their arms, didn't they?
How do you know? Maybe they just used to run through fields and would run into barbed wire accidentally.
Could have.
I had a friend of mine.
That's another way of getting juice, isn't it?
I had a friend of mine riding a 4-wheeler at a high speed across a big field in Tennessee and ran right across at what looked like a clothesline. He didn't see it until it was too late, but it was actually a strip of barbed wire and it got all on him. Pretty bad deal.
The moral of that story is don't get on a 4-wheeler. Don't do that.
Especially not in Tennessee.
No, I mean, I have never heard of any. I've only heard of bad things happening to people on 4-wheelers.
Well, because you're fucking puss. Here's the deal. I got that new Tesla truck coming.
Yeah.
I ain't got that pussy 1 motor one. I ain't got that little wonky 2 motor. I got the Billy Badass 3 motor, the tri-motor gimmick.
Oh my God.
So it's going to
really?
be a stainless steel fucking missile that goes 0 to 60 in 2.9. And in the little video where they introduced it, they showed that you could turn the tailgate into a ramp and drive a Tesla ATV into the back. And you could actually plug your ATV up in the bed of your truck and let it charge. So then you just plug your truck up and it'll charge even your ATV just from the one thing. So when my truck gets here, if that ATV's out, I'm getting it at the same time. And every time you see me, that truck bed will have that ATV in it. So one day when you're over riding around and I say, hey, Tony, look at that field right there. We're fixing to get all up in it.
Nope. I'll watch you, but I'll take a ride in the fucking truck. And by the way, when is that coming in?
Man, you know, here's the thing.
Oh, Raven. So what?
It's a big deal. Raven coming through the crowd here.
Yeah, it is. Is this like, I don't know, in the scheme of things, is this like a surprise appearance or has he been with us for a couple of months? I don't know.
He's been with you a couple months.
Okay.
He was with you back in July.
All right. So anyway, back to this, Tesla truck thing. When is it coming in?
Who knows? I pre-ordered the shit a year ago, but it's one of those deals where I know the tri-motor is going to be the last to get delivered. So probably 2022 or something stupid.
Yeah. I'm sure it's got COVID. So I'll go ride around with him in that truck.
Dude, I can't wait to get
as soon as the truck comes in, I'm going to be there because I want to ride in it.
Yeah.
Or actually I want to drive it.
Please do.
And I promise you, I won't fuck up your vehicle like Dave Silva did.
Oh, I have no doubt. You're a good driver.
Right.
It's just the backing up you got trouble with.
Yeah. I just got backing up. Right. So man, that's some great news, man. Wow. Can I ask you something about Tesla too?
Yeah.
Here's what I never did get about, understand about Tesla. Look at Lizmark, man.
He's a big boy to be pulling all this shit off.
Yeah, he is a big boy. He could do some, I like Lizmark a lot. I think we didn't use him enough.
I agree.
That didn't look good. So anyway, Tesla is is a car.
Oh God.
Or a vehicle. Okay.
There we go.
That is supposed to help, the environment, right?
Yep.
No emissions, electric car, no fossil fuels, good for ecology, good for the earth. Am I right about all that? Yes, I am. So if it's that good and it's that important, if Elon Musk thinks it's that important to our livelihood and our earth to do that, to have something like that, why doesn't he make a fucking car that a working man could fucking buy?
Oh, he does, stupid.
He does fucking not.
You get a Tesla for 30 grand.
Oh, they got those now?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they like the size of a 4-wheeler?
No.
Okay.
Why are you being like this?
I'm into them and I agree. I love them. But when they came out, I'm thinking, what?
The Model Y is 45 G's.
Okay.
And that's not,
that ain't a working man's car.
Well, hang on now.
45 G's or not.
No, wait now. I just listed one. The Model X is a little more, but the Model 3, buddy, that's like their sort of get you in, get you going. It's 33 G's.
Get you in, get you going.
Well, it's like
does it have a steering wheel or is that another $10,000?
No, it's 33,000.
And you can order now and get one by 2028.
No. Listen, you can get those all day. They're out. I ordered something the minute they announced it.
Well, I've always thought that, you know what? These are great ideas. Come on, guys. Come on.
Well, dude,
come on. Let's stop pretending that we're trying to help Earth and come out and say what we're really in this for.
You know,
to make fucking money.
The goddamn truck is 39,000.
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way you're paying 39,000 for a fucking vehicle. Fuck you.
No,
ain't no way.
I'm just saying, like, if you get
you sneeze and $39,000 flies at your ass. So don't tell me you're paying.
I said it loud and proud here I didn't get that pussy single motor one. That's 39 grand. I ain't getting that. I didn't get that dual motor horse shit neither. That's 49 grand. I got the Big Daddy tri-motor all-wheel drive, $69,900.
Of course.
But here's the deal. The truck, the first base model one I was telling you about, the 0 to 60 in 6.5, the big badass one, 0 to 60 in 2.9. Also too, the big badass one can go 500 miles without needing another charge. That's the real reason you get the big engine, not fast. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's cool. Right. But I don't want to have to plug my shit up every day.
Yeah. Well, Lex Luger, I was wondering what you think about Teslas. Do you think these are worth the money that you pay? I know the money you're making right now, you could probably buy a couple of them, but the question is, do you agree with Elon Musk? Do you think these cars are the next generation into the future, how things are going to happen? And I personally, with me, if they had one that had a dialysis machine, I would have had one a long time ago. But Lex, I wanted to ask you, with those big guns, what do you think of Tesla and what do you think of Elon Musk? Answer me. Well, let me say this. I know Elon Musk personally, and I asked him, is there some sort of device you could make to make my biceps bigger? And he said, no, you've already made your biceps as big as you could. And I said, come on now. You are putting people in space, SpaceX. You can at least do something to enhance my pecs, enhance my traps, enhance my biceps, my triceps, my forearms. You can't do much with my calves because I know they're minuscule. But I asked him, please help me out. And he said, there's not enough money. And I said, I'll pay you $250,000. And he said, that's as much as people pay for one of my cars. So it's going to have to be a lot more than that. And I said, your cars cost 6 figures? What about the working man? When is a working man like me going to be able to afford to ride in one of your cars? And he said, well, Conrad Thompson's got one of the cars. And I said, Conrad Thompson? Shit, I'm talking about the working man. I'm talking about guys like, like Dave Silva. And then Elon said, we would never allow Dave Silva in our cars. Do you know why? Because the motherfucker can't drive. We would, if Dave Silva told me, I'm going to go through the drive-through, can I use one of your vehicles? I wouldn't give him my bicycle. Well, that's very revealing, Lex, that you even have a bicycle. But the fact is that, what do you keep looking for here? All right, I'll just wait along with you. We're looking in the tunnel. I don't know what we're looking at. But obviously, we are spending a lot of time talking about this because you still can't do a promo. Well, they didn't pay me to do promos, all right? They paid me to look good. There he goes. And there's his feelings on Tesla. And we'll be back with more Nitro right after this. My name's Gene Okerlund. Oh, and that's an ugly girl.
What's wrong with you?
WCW Monday Nitro. Here's another one from Worldwide in 1993. Obviously, Arn Anderson had the microphone. Bobby Eaton didn't know how to use the microphone, but down he goes. Oh, here we go. Spine Buster City. Boom.
You having fun?
Yeah, man. The Nitro girl's looking good. Dun, 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 dun. Che.
Hey, so you lived on the whole Ask Lois Anything. Did you get any bad feedback or bad reports? Are you still happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Hey, I don't give a shit. Say what she wants.
No, I'm saying, did she have fun? Did you get positive
did she have fun? Listen, do we really have to see this? I need to tell you a story about him just a second, but
him being Disco Inferno.
Yeah, him being Disco Inferno. Lois was in such a I told you that I sent you a text. She was in such a great mood the next day. I mean, phenomenal mood. That she obviously had a great time doing it. I didn't think she would, but she obviously had a great, great time doing it. So did it make my life at the house any better? Nah, maybe for 2 or 3 hours. But she had a good time.
I'm glad to hear it.
So Disco Inferno and our good buddy Conan have a podcast, right?
Yes, they do. Keeping it 100.
Yep. So one of our low-key big hogs, longtime low-key big hog, and just a miserable prick, Adam DeMoy, told me recently on our Patreon Zooms that he was on Disco Inferno's and the Keeping It 100 podcast. And I said, you were? He said, yeah. They had me come on and do a review of AEW on their podcast. And I thought, of all the people in the fucking world that you should have do a review, Adam Moy is not the one because he hates everything.
Right.
And Adam said, no, I like it. I said some good things about you. I said, oh, Jesus. So there, Adam's out there. So you're listening to podcasts and Adam DeMoy is on there. In your mind, think, oh, that's one of the Schiavone slapdicks. So there. And a Florida Gator fan to boot. Fuck.
Who could, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. You don't have to say anything more. Could only be one thing worse than being a Florida Gator.
Being a goddamn Tennessee Volunteer.
No, one thing worse than that.
Being a fucking Auburn fan.
You fucking A. And that's one bad thing about the pandemic. This was not our year to go to Auburn. It's our year to come to Georgia. Jesus. Here he comes. Here he comes. Trainer of the year. I'm going to make everybody hate me before my life is over.
Why are you such a dick to him?
I'm not a dick to him. I like Bill. He was a good guy, but I mean, you gotta own up to your past in a way, don't you?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know anything. He never did anything to me badly, but I mean, isn't it kind of out there that people he trained really didn't like him? He was tough on them. You know, in today's world, if you're tough on somebody, tough on me. If he was a wrestling trainer back in the 40s and 50s, he probably could have got away with 60s, got away with a lot of the stuff that he did. Am I right there?
Yes.
So anyway, just trying to think of things to say. And here's Alex Wright. That's funny. So what do you think about this show so far? I think we've, you and I have talked up some stuff. I think up until this point, this hasn't been a bad show.
No, it's been a good show. They've got 6,483 fans, 5,648 of them paid a gate that was $112,975. Meltzer says it was a show that lasted just over 3 hours. They had far too many tape features, so the show dragged in a lot of spots. The 3 hours came off as too long, although the definitive word is whether or not the audience stuck with it, and we don't have the quarter-hour ratings as of just yet. That was a little long, which, you and I are never going to argue for longer shows. We like shorter shows.
Sure we do. I think in 2020 and even years before, even forever, I don't think there's any place for a 3-hour wrestling show. And I understand why they do it now because of commercials and spot buys and stuff like that. I get it, but it ends up being too long.
Right.
It does. Listen, for a time, and this is before AEW started, I was trying to watch and DVRing Raw. I couldn't get through it, man. Without the fast forward button, I couldn't sit there for 3 hours. I just couldn't. Oh, Alex Wright was not a bad worker now, was he?
No.
He could do some things. He was athletic. Jesus, but his package, God. Do something with that, Alex. I guess he just wanted to show it off. I don't know. Any bicycle trails in Huntsville?
Yeah, tons.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You'd like it. You should bring yours next time.
Yeah, I know there's one in Anniston that Actually, I can go from Anderson, Alabama to Cobb County on that long trail, but I didn't know what they had in Huntsville. So yeah, maybe when I eventually get thrown out of this house and have to move in with you and take up one of your rooms as a bat cave, then maybe I'll check out one of those trails. Never know.
I'd love that. Tell everybody what we're watching, give them some time codes and all that jazz.
All that jazz. Okay, we are watching Alex Wright and Hugh Morrus. We're at 1:23, 35, 36, 37, 38 of a 2-hour, 23-minute show. So we got about an hour to go in this show almost. And we still haven't seen our Horseman mock or parody. We still have a couple of more things to say to Arn Anderson. And I guess the story here is, maybe I'm wrong, and I was talking over the Lex Luger thing, trying to rip on, working man not being able to afford a Tesla. Apparently there was some sort of angle between Luger and DDP here. And Luger wanted to apologize to Diamond Dallas Page, and Diamond Dallas Page didn't come out, and I don't know what the story was. But the good news is we're going to see Chris Jericho later on in the show. And that should be a lot of fun. Prince Iaukea, one of our favorites, will be in the show as well.
Luger and Page are going to team up later. It's going to be Savage and Hall against Luger and Page.
Well, WCW coming together. That was kind of the storyline here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. WCW trying to, the guys in WCW who had their issues were trying to settle their issues so they could fight as one against the NWO. And for many fans, the NWO meant, didn't it? It meant WWF was invading WCW, right?
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that kind of the premise of the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why it worked. Are you having lunch or something that you're not talking that much?
No, man, I'm just letting you do your thing. This is the Tony Schiavone show.
Oh,
I get a lot of criticism saying that I talk too much and I dominate.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
More.
How many, look, stop it. Really? People out there say you talk too much?
I want you to be able to do your thing,
Okay. I got it. Do you have, name me a person that says you talk too much.
I don't know. Just people on Twitter.
Okay. Give me one of them.
I don't know their name. Okay. Billy.
Billy? Fuck you, Billy. How does that sound? That's my retort to Billy. Okay. You get up here and do a 3-hour show your own.
By the way,
it's so fucking easy.
As you and I are talking, it's a beautiful sunny day on the weekend here in Huntsville, Alabama. And downstairs, floating around in my pool, is Mrs. Thompson, the entire Silva clan.
Well,
and, three high school junior girls. So everybody in my house and my dogs, everybody's having a great time, but me, I'm up here with you watching Hugh Morrus wrestle Alex Wright. That's what I'm doing.
Which actually reminds me of something to bring up. I was at your house, most of the day Saturday, most of the day on Sunday.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going.
Okay. Yeah. Where was the Silva family?
Not messing with you.
Apparently not. Okay. I get it. I understand. I get it. Notice how Spice is behind me here on set?
Mm-hmm.
She was my girl. What are we selling here?
You're talking about, you're going to have Nitro parties.
Nitro party. That's what I thought. Which became a thing, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it absolutely did.
Did you ever go to a Nitro party?
No.
Well, then it wasn't a thing. Unless Conrad Thompson was in on it. It was never a thing.
I was a kid. I'd had a driver's license for like 2 months here.
Well, there you go. Live on the edge, man. Go to a Nitro party. Is there and see, one CNN Center, P.O. Box 60, Atlanta, 30303. That's right. We want to see your Nitro parties. What an era, man. What a fucking era. Wasn't it?
Dude. Best. I miss 1997. I sort of, it's dumb. I hate things like sci-fi and shit like that. But I really wish time travel was possible, because I'd go back in time and relive some great wrestling as an adult. Look who it is. It's Sting.
It's the sad clown Sting.
With a fucking bird.
Motherfucker, go poke his eyes out. That bird will. Yeah, this was another one of these specials, or like we did with Piper.
Listen to the audio from this. I remember the song.
The skies for a vindicator, someone to strike fear into the black hearts of the same man who created him. The battle between good.
Who's the little kid doing the voiceover?
I think it's that Eric's kid.
Is it really?
I believe so.
That's Garrett Bischoff.
I believe that's Garrett. Yeah.
That's tremendous. Look at all the shit you learn here on what's the name of this one?
What happened
when?
I may be wrong. Eric probably would know better than me, but I think that was Garrett.
No laugh at what's the name of this one? That'll tell you, I'll tell you about what we did on adfreeshows.com this past weekend.
No, but I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining.
We had, Doc Gallows, the former Luke Gallows, one of the Good brothers, on for a little Zoom chat with all of our top guys.
Doc is what he's goes by now.
He was Doc before.
Oh, okay.
He's Doc again.
I bet you that was entertaining.
I'm sure it was. And we got him first thing on a Saturday. So it was probably before he was drunk.
Yeah. So it was before 10 a.m.
Right.
He and Carl, and I'm sure you would agree, two of my favorites.
By the way, Meltzer would write, Hugh Morrus is really agile for a guy's size, and it makes people think he's a good worker, but somehow his matches are usually not good. And here comes your man dancing, Stevie Richards.
Love Stevie Richards, buddy.
Nitro plus Stevie equals ratings.
Yeah, Stevie was, I always thought Stevie, even back then, and now that I look at it even more, I thought he was a very underused talent. Thought we could have done a lot more with Stevie.
I always loved Stevie too, but here's the thing. Paul Heyman was such a fucking genius. He convinced me that Stevie Richards was going to be like Shawn Michaels of ECW. And then of course, as soon as I started feeling that way in 97, here he is wrestling fucking Damien on Nitro.
When Paul convinced you of that, was it like a one-on-one talk and he has just finished his 5th Big Mac or something like that?
Why are you such a dick to him?
I'm not. Am I?
Oh, look, there's Raven. What about Raven?
Yeah. He gonna take care of this kid. Oh,
DDT on the floor.
This was Damien, right?
Yeah, it was. He's dead now.
This was dead Damien.
Yeah.
Stevie said, come on, where's my opponent? Shit, he down. What the fuck is you, man? Come on, we're supposed to wrestle. What the fuck happened, Mickey? I don't know. Maybe he's drunk. Let's see. No, he ain't drunk. He ain't dead. I mean, he's breathing. Oh, there's somebody who's just like, he's staring a hole in the bottom of here's a cover. Well, I'm going to check. Okay. Well, fuck, I got to get in the ring and do it myself then, I guess. Oh, he's going to put CPR fucking on him. This spot is goofier than we're making it. I thought I was making some joke. Oh, slap it. Oh, is this Raven's flock now beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. Raven's flock. I liked it, man.
And by the way, just so everybody remembers, where are you on Raven's mom?
She's got it going on.
She does.
Yeah. We're going to hear from Dean Malenko. Hopefully he stands up straight enough so where the camera can see him, because as we know, Dean Malenko is 2'1". So we see Dean. You want to trank it? There you go. Track.
You're just barely ahead.
Back at some of the great competitors in grace of sport, I can think of Arn Anderson as top of the list. Arn, it's been a real privilege, and I wish you the best in your endeavors in the future.
Oh my God. Dean Malenko created the best wishes in your future endeavors. I thought that was WWE.
No, it's Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko's very creative. In kind of a small way, but very creative. And we are Nitro grilling it up here, man.
Yeah, lots of Nitro Girl appearances here.
So I'm ahead of you here?
I think just barely. I'm at 133, 35, 36, 37, 38.
Yeah.
But everybody's always known that you're old Quick Draw McGraw.
Yeah. I'm trying to get there with you. What are you now? 133.50?
133, 52, 53, 54.
Okay. We're about on now. I hit the pause button real quickly on mine. By the way, for you, those of you out there who are thinking that, we can't enjoy this podcast because it's a watch along. Wrong. I think you can enjoy it even without watching along.
Of course.
I think maybe this will make you want to go back and watch it again.
Hope so.
Oh, Lee Marshall, come on. Track this.
Oh, Jesus.
This much excitement in Milwaukee since the Fonz got together with Pinky Tuscadero. I've already been to some Nitro parties in Racine and Kenosha. Talk is all about next Monday's Nitro. That comes live from the arena in Milwaukee. If you don't have your Nitro tickets, jump on the Lake Freeway, get to your nearest Ticketmaster or the arena box office. Milwaukee, the home of the Brewers, the Bucks, one of the nation's great wrestling cities, home of the legendary Crusher, and of course, because of its proximity to Green Bay, Milwaukee filled with Packer fans, and although they are good sports, they've rejected the idea of changing their nickname, guys. They want to be known as the Cheeseheads, not the Wheezeheads. And that's your 1-800-COLLECT Road Report from Milwaukee. I'm Lee Marshall for 1-800-COLLECT.
Oh, what a fucking terrible piece of business.
That was not. Lee would always throw Weasel in there some way, and we fucking loved it. You thought that was a terrible piece of business?
I didn't like it at all.
Oh, Jesus. I love the 1-800-COLLECT things with Lee Marshall. Loved them.
Because you love Lee Marshall.
Yeah, that's right.
But I've liked Lee Marshall. Would we have gotten along?
You and Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lee was a good guy. Lee was a good guy. Lee, when, if you put all the announcers, not including JR, if you put all the wrestling announcers and, just list them by the money that they made in their careers.
Oh, he's near the top.
Yes, he is.
Because some of his paychecks were great.
That's right. And he made a lot of money even before he became Tony the Tiger. He told me he did voiceover work in LA. And I remember when we were in LA a lot of times and I would be in a rental car, I would hear Lee's voice on a lot of commercials, LA radio. And Lee told me, he said, it's a cash cow. He said, it's absolutely just a cash cow. It's mailbox money.
Why don't you get into that?
I'm too busy. I got
wait. You work fucking 1 day a week. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, look, I've got to,
you realize
I got to make sure that Lois doesn't, jump off of the roof. I've got,
Lois has never been on the roof.
I've got, got to clean up the office. Got new games from PlayStation 4. Got to play.
I'm done with you.
No, you're not, man.
You should be doing voiceovers for stupid shit on TV. Why can't you be the Mr. Pillow guy or My Pillow guy?
Yeah. Well, I just don't think that, I don't think that there's money in it like there used to be.
Well, you didn't think there was in wrestling either. And look at you now making more money than ever.
Okay. Well, why don't you be my agent here?
Well, cause last time I was your agent, I didn't get a goddamn dime. You think I'm going to go do that shit again?
I knew I should, as soon as I got it out of my mouth, I knew I shouldn't have.
I'm just saying.
Yep. As soon as I
can't even get you to give me the fucking belt. And how about Taz? Oh, I don't know where the FTW belt is, brother. Well, I do. It's in fucking Jacksonville every goddamn Wednesday. That's what I know. Found the new car I want. I need these commissions.
I need these commissions.
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm on 10%, God damn it.
I need these commissions. Man, that's spoken like a guy in the business.
Well, just saying.
Here comes Prince Iaukea. Here we go, buddy.
Boy, Prince Iaukea versus Ray Traylor. You want me interested in a fucking show? Put this on and I'll find out what else is on. This is around the same time I realized, you know what? Maybe we ought to see what that Steve Austin fella's doing.
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you got to have wrestling. You just can't have your main event stars every match.
Let me just tell you, if Ray
got
Traylor
ain't fucking show,
if Ray Traylor ain't Big Boss Man, I don't care. I need him as Big Boss Man or I don't need him. And Prince Iaukea, just don't need him. I'd rather Boss Man just chase the referee around. That'd be more entertaining.
Okay. That's not a bad idea.
Name your favorite Prince Iaukea match.
This one we're watching right now, because he's selling his ass off, buddy.
Listen, he's a fine performer. It's a gimmick. I'm going to get tweets about this. Well, you like Prince Iaukea? I'm just trying to make you laugh, buddy. Calm down.
All right. Name somebody who's going to say, is it you again, Billy? Fuck you, Billy.
This was Jimmy.
Oh, fuck you, Jimmy. I know you. I know where you live. See, there's an inherent problem to what we do. Oh, he wasn't ready to cover him. Not ready yet. And the inherent problem is that we will, I don't do this anymore, but you will read one tweet and take it to heart. Like, oh, that's what everybody thinks. Wrong. Ray Traylor could, man. It didn't matter what version of.
He can work his ass off. He's so agile. He's so fast. You don't look at him and think that he can move like he does, but here he is, and he does great stuff. But I'm just telling you, I need him in a corrections officer uniform. I need a flat top. Yeah. I need a billy club.
Sure.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Does he have on his right shoulder a Confederate flag tattoo?
Probably. That used to be the Georgia state flag too, though.
Well, I know that,
but I'm just saying, you got to appreciate he's a Georgia boy, and that was probably just the state flag.
Yeah.
Here's my point. I know that these days the rebel flag means something a whole lot different, but I'm going to tell you, as a kid growing up in the South, it was everywhere. And I never considered it that or thought of that. It wasn't until I was much older and I realized, hey, this is a symbol of hate to some. Then I said, well, fuck, I don't need it in my life. Like, I don't need anything in my life that's going to greatly offend everybody else. Not one thing.
I agree. I absolutely agree with everything you just said. So,
but I'm just saying all that because I know if we go down this road, people are going to start saying, oh, that must've meant Ray Traylor was no, he wasn't. He's fucking a Georgia kid.
Yeah. And it was back time where it just wasn't what it is now. And I get it. Well, Prince Iaukea finally with an offensive move. I like this version much better than the artist formerly known as Prince Iaukea.
Legitimately, though, if you're not sure about this, or if you don't, you're not familiar with state flags or Georgia, go look up the Georgia state flag from like the 50s to, I don't know, the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a giant Confederate flag.
Yeah. Doesn't Mississippi still have it in their state flag?
Do they? I thought they got rid of it.
Yeah, they may have. I don't know. I really don't know because you know what? I just don't.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, flags never did bother me. I never was passionate about flags. Never, ever.
I'll be damned. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Mississippi had it from 1894 until 2020. I guess they got rid of it in 2020.
Sure. Because the world went out of its mind.
Well, I don't think getting rid of the flag means you're out of your mind.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean you're out of your mind. Enough of this talk and no one gives a shit about, and we don't need
This is one of the original Four Horsemen. and he was at the top of his game during the glory years. And now, Arn is and always will be an icon among the hood.
One of the things we needed was a Rich Bocchini there, and we'd all fallen asleep.
Sure. Why do you think they quit doing their podcast? NyQuil pulled their sponsorship?
I believe so.
By the way, is it possible that anybody is nicer than J.J. Dillon?
He's one of the great men.
J.J. Dillon had a birthday sometime over the summer, and I sent him a happy birthday text. And we had just a delightful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he realized he told me something in error, and he corrected it several hours later. And I had no idea what he was even talking about. I had to scroll up and just sort of piece it all together, but he's such a nice man.
Yeah.
If you don't like,
if
you don't like J.J. Dillon, fuck you.
Yeah.
All right, here he comes. Sean Waltman dressed up like Ric Flair. He's got tape on every finger. He's got a sweater vest and a button up. Let's track it.
Just a second. I take exception to this, gentlemen. I know exactly who you are. To think for a minute that I'm going to sit out here and condone anything you're doing. We are paying tribute tonight to one of the all-time greats, Arn Anderson. I will not stay here and let you desecrate his good name and fantastic reputation. You got anything to say? Talk to yourself, pal.
Yeah, whatever, Gene. Beat it. Woo! Kurt Hennig, come on out here, Danny. We need to settle something right now. Come on, Kurt Hennig. Woo!
This is real.
By the way, how fucking great is Mongo? Conan as Mongo is underrated.
Yeah, it is.
And there's Buff Bagwell doing the world's worst Mr. Perfect. My goodness. What a segment this is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Come on out here, Danny.
Why can't we just
Woo!
I mean,
you know, I'm out here screaming at the top of my lungs and I don't even know why. Woo! Kurt! I don't mean to put you on the spot here, brother. Woo!
what? Do we have to listen?
But everybody's dying to know. It's been 2 months and we gotta know. Are you in? Are you out? Woo!
They're making a whole mockery.
Well, I tell you, Rick, you have put me on the spot here a little bit.
Woo!
You know I got a dog named Spot.
Woo!
Just to sum it up, you put me on the spot.
Woo!
But as bad as I hate to say it,
woo!
I can't give you or these people an answer tonight. Woo!
You know, last week was one of the greatest moments.
You know something, Kurt Hennig?
And this has gone right.
I knew that you were going to give us that answer, so I took it upon myself to give all these people a big surprise. Right now, well, I'd like to introduce to you my best friend, the enforcer of the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson. Woo!
You know, and I can think of all the the things that this group has done. Guys, this is the lowest form yet.
Is this the most iconic parody in wrestling history?
Yeah. That's why when I said earlier, take this entire show, did you remember anything of this show? One thing, I remembered this.
Yeah. How about all the makeup he's got on? I can't believe this is actually happening. Let's track it again.
Double A, Daddy, you're looking great. I know you were taking care of more important business for a second.
I was taking care of horseman business. Before I go any further, let me let all the horsemen out here know one thing. Guys, the beer's on ice. All right, Daddy. Woo! Gong 'em. You know something? It's pretty ironic that on Labor Day, WCW would decide to honor me, because anybody that's followed my career knows one thing. Y'all was wondering when I was going to go into labor. You know, I sat back there today and I watched that highlight tape of my career, and I said to myself, you know, I'm a guy of average size, average speed, average quickness, average looks, average intelligence, average carpentry skills. But you know what? I parlayed that into a wrestling career that, if I may say so myself, was quite excellent. But you know something?
This is not right.
4 months ago, I had a neck injury. Subsequently, I lost the feeling in my hand, my left hand. The significance of that, that's a hand I open beer with. But you know something? I willed myself back from that injury. I got in the gym. I didn't do anything. I walked around, but I got to the gym. And you know what? I started to come back. But about a week ago, I went to the neighborhood bar. I bellied up against the bar like only I can. And a fat broad, that's right, a fat broad, came up and smacked me in the back and sent a chill down me. Same fat broads have been following the Horsemen for 20 years. But as I looked at that long neck laying on that cheap industrial grade carpentry, I said to myself, how ironic. Now, it wasn't so much the fact that I was out $3.75. What it was to me was sand ticking down through the hourglass, and everybody knows, so are the days of our lives. You know, one thing you could say when Arn Anderson was coming to town, besides the fact that I left a lot of unpaid bar tabs, was Arn Anderson was coming to town. And you knew if I was on the card, I was gonna give you 100%. No matter how drunk, how hungover I was gonna give you all I had. And back in those days before the NWO, you 8 people that bought those tickets got one heck of a show. But you know what? As I come out here tonight, I ask you people, don't remember how I used to be. Remember me how I look right now.
We've reached the lowest point
Good
ever
Mongo.
on this program. We have.
So Kurt, that puts me and you, and I got a challenge for you. Wait a second. I don't want to fight you because I ain't won one in 20 years. What I got for you is a challenge, because as much as I want to be a horseman, I know if I come out here right now, I not only put him at danger, but I put my best friend at danger, and I can't do that.
So what I'm doing tonight is I got a challenge to you. And I ain't got much to offer you because the beer's spoken for. But what I do got is I got a spot. A spot with the Four Horsemen. Not just a spot, not a liver spot, not a spot like your dog spot. No, not just any spot, but my spot. So I need to know right now, do you accept it? My spot, not their spot, liver spot, dog spot, anybody's spot, my spot, to become a Four Horseman. Not my spot, anybody's spot, dog spot, liver spot, my spot. As much as I want to say, I'm a AA fan. As much as I want to say, I like to be a Four Horseman. It's hard to say because I don't like you and I don't like the Four Horsemen. But I tell you what, it would be an honor.
And it has been a total joke now.
It's not funny anymore.
No, it's not.
Not when you know Arn Anderson like we do.
I ask about security. I do understand security. They've had their hands full this entire time with holding Ric Flair, Kurt Hennig, Mongo, all the Horsemen back.
Maybe the most pathetic display of all from the NWO.
Well, let me say this too. You NWO fans, you look at this one long because, and I do have a hand in some of these television programs during the weekend, because you're never going to see this again, ever.
Well, I got to tell you, I loved it at the time. Thought it was awesome. Thought it was heat. Really appreciated that they did it right in the middle of an Arn Anderson tribute show because, well, it feels like heat. And I just assumed everybody was on board. And I think Kevin Nash even thought everything was cool because supposedly, and he's done shoot interviews that laid this out, the styrofoam cooler that he brought to the ring that night was Arn Anderson's. He asked Arn if he could borrow his cooler, and he said, yeah. I think originally the idea was actually Terry Taylor's, and Kevin Nash and everybody liked it and supposedly got everybody's blessing. And Nash says the story changes when the guys all call home that night. This is before everybody had cell phones in their pocket and could text message and DM and social media and all that. And supposedly Mrs. Lundy thought, quote, they made you look like a fucking drunk. Or at least that's what Kevin Nash said. She said, I've never talked to Aaron or Arn about it, but either way, everybody wasn't tickled at the end of this. Tony, are you there?
Yeah. While it was going on, I was entertained. I really was. And I was trying to think before this all started, before we were going to watch it again, what entertained me about it. What entertained me about the whole thing was, the 1, 2, 3 kid crying.
Right.
That with the tears flowing, that I remember thinking, oh, that's funny. And because Kevin Nash is a pretty talented man, I thought he was very entertaining. But in retrospect, I can see why Arn was upset about it. However, in the context of the NWO being the NWO, wouldn't they have done that? And here's another thing. Why did they have me say the security is holding Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, all those guys back?
Well, let me explain. Meltzer would write, this week's major controversy revolves around the skit that Kevin Nash, Six, Marcus Bagwell, and Conan did on Nitro, doing their imitation of the now famous Arn Anderson interview from 1 week earlier. As the story goes, the deal was played out ahead of time where they would dedicate the show to Arn Anderson, and then the NWO would make so much fun of him with the combination of the two things theoretically building up tremendous heat. which is what happened. We got more reactions, some very positive, thinking it was hilarious, and some very negative, thinking it was in terrible taste, largely depending on what country you were from and who you grew up watching. The original finish of the skit was to have the Horsemen run out and totally clean house on the NWO, with Anderson watching from the stage area with his arms folded and a big smile on his face. Before the show started, Terry Taylor was told by Eric Bischoff to nix the Horsemen comeback and not let them do the run-in, which was believed to be at the suggestion of Kevin Nash. Later in the show, Flair was supposed to instead do an interview, but by this time Flair was so mad he refused to go on because he felt by not coming out during the skit, it made the Horsemen look so bad that there was nothing he could do to salvage the situation. Anderson wasn't as mad immediately after the skit, but was said to be furious later that night, including winding up in a confrontation with Booker Kevin Sullivan after calling home and finding out how mad and upset his wife and 12-year-old son were. Flair wasn't so mad about the portrayal of him, but of the portrayal of his best friend, who he's protective of, and the mockery of the very serious retirement interview he did the week before. There are even reports Anderson wound up so mad he was thinking of quitting the company. Flair's contract expires in February and he hasn't re-signed an extension. Although the WWF, due to the lawsuit against WCW, is very leery about doing anything that looks like they would be interested in WCW talent right now, even though they'd like to have Flair, even if he was primarily just as a goodwill ambassador more than a full-time wrestler. There are also reports that some or all of the behind the scenes controversy is simply a Kevin Sullivan, Brian Pillman angle, although my impression is that's not the case. Of course, this only makes sense if the War Games were to turn out to be Horsemen versus NWO, which isn't going to be the case. The skit itself was absolutely hilarious on spots, particularly Waltman with the fake oversized nose, the clothes, the tears, the dancing, and Nash was incredible, but it did go on too long. And realistically was so inside and biting, since Anderson's mother died very young due to alcoholism, that one could see if the former scenario is the real one, is that it was designed by Nash to stick it to Anderson. The heat between the Horsemen and the NWO is legit, to a point that it's silly, because even at the Clash on August 21st, there was a bomb threat called into Nashville on the Flair match, and Nash was joking after the show that Anderson must have called it in because they wanted management to think someone actually cared about Ric Flair. And there is a major level of discomfort of late in the dressing room regarding people trying to take all the credit for recent successes. The funny part is the TV ratings are still slightly lower for the year as compared to the same period the previous year before there was such a thing as the NWO. Buy rates aren't all that different. And that's with hot-shotting guys like Kevin Green, Reggie White, and Dennis Rodman all over the place. House show business is way up, and the most valuable person when it comes to that is Zane Bresloff. And the fact that the television show Nitro and not any of the individuals has become super hot, as the rank and file house shows aren't put together to build strong lineups or draw big houses to begin with, and tickets are being sold mainly for the name brand as opposed to any singular individual. Not that the wrestlers and angles aren't overall hotter this year when it comes to drawing, because they are. But WCW is at a point right now where any individual, whether it's Savage, Hogan, Flair, Sting, Hall, or Nash, could leave tomorrow, and it would make no serious difference in ratings, buy rates, or arena grosses. So a lot to unpack there, Tony, but that's what was written. I do know, and I can confirm that the Horsemen were supposed to come out and it got nixed, because I remember Arn and specifically Rick being furious at that. Whenever I've talked to him about it in recent years, that it didn't make any sense that they wouldn't come in and try to beat the shit out of them for that. And I have to admit that does make logical sense.
That's the big mistake that was made there, Conrad.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching this today, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't they come out?
Right.
And now you tell me that it was nixed at the very end. I forget a lot of things I know, and things happened years ago. That was the first time that I was told that it was nixed, or that I found when you just read to me because I wasn't reading Meltzer back then. That's the first time anyone's ever told me that the run-in was Nick. So because I'm listening to it today thinking, why did we have the Horsemen run out?
Right.
And then I hear my line that obviously I was fed, right, to say that. I don't get it. Because, things were done in the backstage area right before we went on the air. And we weren't privy to everything. Which is fine. I don't care. But it's just all wrong.
A lot of NWO on this. We just saw that skit, one match, and now we're back with a Hogan Bischoff interview. I got to tell you, hindsight being what it is, I wish there would have been some separation. Of course, Meltzer's wrong. It does wind up being the NWO versus the Horsemen.
Right.
But still, it would have been cool if there was a little more separation. Last week being the big speech, tonight being a sort of Arn Anderson tribute show. And then this following week, 1 week later, cause the pay-per-view is 13 days away. So this show's on the 1st. On the 8th, we could have had that parody thing, the Horseman run down, do the beat down, Arn smiles. But I don't know that really is the way you finish. I mean, you want to finish where the bad guys have the upper hand and the good guys are looking for revenge at the pay-per-view in theory. But we know the NWO is ultimately going to win as well. I mean, they killed the whole fucking town, Winston-Salem, with War Games that year.
Mm-hmm.
98 is the silliness where it's 3 teams and Warriors in. It's just ruined. But 97 here, when Kurt would turn, it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of talking going on now in this show. A lot of talking going on. I don't know how long that Horseman skit went, but Meltzer was right. It went too long.
Right.
And you could tell it was dragging at parts.
By the way, I know we're going to get some complaints that, oh man, Conrad played all of Arn's speech and the parody. He tracked it too much this week. Let's say the guy who said that, his name is David.
Hey, David, fuck you.
I mean, listen, if we're really going to pay respect to those two things, I feel like we needed to play the audio from them.
This is a watch along. Okay.
Yeah.
And a moment like that, you need, if you can't watch along, you need to listen to it with us to get the feel of the moment. So there. David, Jimmy,
you rat soup eating motherfucker.
Damn straight.
So tell me about your car. You didn't give me a ride in. I wanted to ride around, wanted to see your new car. You shut me down. So since I didn't get to ride in it, you want to tell me about it?
It's 2020 Ford Explorer.
Can't hide bunny.
And I've always loved the SUVs, and it's very nice leather seats. Seats that heated seats, which I fucking love heated seats. Even if my back's bothering me, even in the summertime, I'll put the heat on.
Was that your first time having heated seats?
No, I've had heated seats before, but
you're just putting it over real strong.
Yeah. It was a big selling point for me. Got heated seats? Yep. I like it.
There you go.
It's got Apple CarPlay.
Oh, hell yeah. Apple CarPlay is a badass option.
Yes, it is. And that's about it. Other than that, it's just your regular basic, SUV.
Never had Apple CarPlay.
What?
I've never had Apple CarPlay.
You don't know what you're missing.
No, I've had it in like rental cars, like loaner cars.
Oh, okay.
So I'm familiar with it. It's awesome. I don't have that sweet Tony Khan money.
But you get that sweet First Family Mortgage money. And here's what's great about Apple CarPlay. All right. You driving down the road and all of a sudden there's a text from Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
And you push the button and Siri says, Conrad Thompson said, when do you want to tape this week, you rat soup eating motherfucker? Which is a delight.
We got to film that.
Yeah.
By the way, we should give everybody a peek behind the curtain. You left JR. You're like on the road rig in Jacksonville this week. He's moving into his new place this coming weekend. So this was his last week in like a hotel situation. I'm shipping him a whole podcast in a box setup for his new home down there. But while he's in the hotel, you left him your portable rig and we recorded this week and you set it up for him. And you told me hey, we're ready. Give us a call. So I make the call. And sure enough, exactly as you had alluded to very recently here on the show, very sarcastically, JR answered the phone. Hello, kind sir. And I was like, holy shit, Tony was telling the truth. This motherfucker is making fun of me for saying kind sir.
He loves that. He does. He loves you. He loves hearing you say that. I don't know what it is. That really makes him happy.
Well, I know what he does. He says, oh, fuck off. Bunch of shit up there recording podcasts with Bruce, bunch of lies and bullshit, making fun of me, talking about sassafras. Anyway, Tony, got my check this month. It's pretty good one. How was yours?
God almighty.
Is that pretty much it?
That was almost word for fucking word. I mean, word for fuck.
Listen, I knew how he felt about me a long time before I even knew him.
We're not his boys like Bruce and Bischoff.
Oh, sure.
You and me are just like the working guys here.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
My God. You know how many times a fucking week I talk to Bruce Pritchard?
Probably once
when we record. Meanwhile, you and I talk 3 or 4 days a week, and I do talk to Eric 3 or 4 times a week. I talk to Arn Anderson 1 time.
Yeah.
When we record, you know, Arn's a lot like you. Arn's not going to call and just check in, see how you're doing. Bruce will do that. Eric will do that.
Right.
But JR ain't gonna, Tony ain't gonna, Arn ain't gonna. You might get a text from him, but there's not going to be a lot of conversation.
Well, I think JR says that because it's well known that Bruce is the one that kind of, with you, kind of opened the door to all this.
Not just with me. He opened the door for all of it, for all of us. Now he didn't, he would give me the credit for that and say it was my idea and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, his show was the first one that I really like cut my teeth on and was able to lay the blueprint for how we monetize this thing now. And everybody's doing well because of it.
Yeah, it is. And of course, still none of us have reached the numbers that you two have on that show. And I get it. And Eric's is big. I get it. But we're me and JR and Arn, all of us are, because we're on the Conrad Thompson network on Westwood One, we are all reaping the benefits of all that. So,
but by the way, it's worth mentioning, I don't talk to anybody about numbers or money. I don't say, nice job this month, Tony, but still only a fraction of the download. That's not me.
No, I know.
Here's the deal. JR and Bruce have low key heat. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
No. Neither one of them have ever told me that. I'm just saying it would be really hard for me to imagine that JR has heat with me.
No, he doesn't.
So it's just low key heat with Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. And I can see from, years past where maybe JR and Eric Bischoff would have had some heat. So,
I shouldn't even say this. Let me tell you something funny.
Okay.
Don't tweet about this. God damn it.
Well, then don't say it.
Okay.
Okay. Castrol Synthetic protects many ways that other podcasts can't.
You ever use Castrol Synthetic to have sex? I bet it would burn.
No, but have I ever told you about Crisco?
Now, are you going to suggest that you once slathered a handful of Crisco and did some butt stuff?
No. But I know some of my friends in Craigsville who, by the way, are no longer with us.
They should try Pam. I like that we just redid the same bit twice.
Okay. How about WD-40?
Oh man. Do you know what WD-40 works great on for real?
What?
Like your metals outdoor, like I got gates going into my backyard by the pool or whatever. Man, you wipe those things down with WD-40, brings them back to life. It like gets rid of the oxidation or whatever.
Wow.
Your patio furniture, your sconces outside, all that shit.
Do you have Silva go out and spray all that down for you?
No. Clint from Hershey helps me with it like once a quarter or something like that.
When he's not destroying stuff in your office.
Yeah. He destroyed my Macho Man statue. Oh, by the way, cross my fingers when I say this. This might be the last time I come to you from the studio looking like it does right now, because I've been told that I'm getting all my new furniture delivered in here next week.
That is awesome.
We're going to start doing some more video stuff.
That is awesome. I need to come over and celebrate that with you.
Please do. By the way, when it's all set up and good to go, we're going to start putting the video versions of the podcast up on adfreeshows.com, and our man Stan is going to slide in some funny shit. So if you want to actually watch the show, there will be sort of like pop-up video type stuff along the way, thanks to our man Stan. But yeah, video formats of the show coming exclusively to adfreeshows.com.
That is very fucking, that means I can't do it naked.
No. That would be better if you did it naked. We would finally get to see, all the hog mates that we've heard about for so long.
So we get down to this and we have about 8 minutes to go in the show.
Yeah. But you know what, rather than watch Savage and Scott Hall take on DDP and Lex Luger, who might not be getting along, I would rather me and you have a discussion about something that we all really care about.
Okay.
Kit Kats or Reese Cups?
Oh, Reese Cups. Reese Cups are like Hall of Fame shit.
Snickers or Butterfingers?
Snickers. Anything else?
Well, no, I was hoping you'd come up with some.
Blondes or brunettes?
Come the fuck on.
It's brunettes.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, yeah, it is.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, here's the deal though. I have seen some very attractive brunettes in my day, but I knew that whatever their problem was, I could fix it for about $200 for a cut and color.
Go down to Miami. All right. And see those girls down in Miami who are like, maybe got Cuban heritage. Whew.
Nah, the prettiest girl I've ever seen is in Huntsville, Alabama.
Well, God bless you for that. Let's see. Blue or green?
Oh, if we're talking about eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue.
Okay.
If we're
Brunette
talking about
with green eyes though. Holy smokes.
I love that I was asking you about candy and you went straight to ladies. Chevy or Ford?
Ford. When I was growing up, it was Chevy, but it's changed a great deal. We're not allowed to have Chevys here at the house.
Not allowed.
Nope. Lois will not have them in her driveway.
So if Chris bought the new badass Corvette, he's not allowed to bring it over?
No, don't want to have anything to do with it.
Wait, hang on.
You know what? You know what GMC stands for? As far as Lois is concerned?
I'm ready.
Government Motors.
My God.
Ford didn't ask for a bailout.
Oh God.
Okay. See, that's not for me. That's from the person I live with. But in reality, I really started liking Fords when I started actually back in this era, when I started renting cars, and the Fords were a lot of fun to drive. They really were. They just seemed like they were well made. So I've kind of been into Fords ever since then.
Sure. SMB.
Although I would rather do BMW, but I don't want to have to pay the money for it.
Let's talk about that. BMW or Mercedes?
BMW. And that's because I've never owned a Mercedes. I've owned a couple of BMWs.
Pizza or hamburgers?
Pizza. Vienna sausages or kielbasa?
Kielbasa. Put those on the grill. Good to go.
Okay. I think we've already brought this up. Charcoal or gas?
Charcoal all day.
Yeah, I agree.
Now here's the thing. I'm a griller. So I got 2 gas grills that are built in my outdoor kitchens. And then I'm more of a big green egg guy. So I got a Vision grill upstairs and a big green egg downstairs, but I've also got the electric smoker that looks like a little mini fridge that you put, it's got shelves in it. So you can put like, you know, wings or ribs or whatever and just fill the whole damn thing up. So I'm a big like outdoor meat preparation guy.
Okay. Here's another one. Pumpkin pie or lemon meringue pie?
Lemon meringue pie. It ain't close.
Okay. You are so wrong. Pumpkin pie is the greatest dessert ever made.
Yeah, but you're the type of asshole who orders vanilla ice cream.
No. On my pumpkin pie?
No. I'm just saying in general.
No.
Like you go into Baskin Robbins and be like, give me the vanilla.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
What's your go-to ice cream treat at Dairy Queen?
My go-to ice cream, it's boring. You're going to say, see,
I'm ready.
Is a medium blizzard with strawberries and pineapples.
That's actually pretty good. I'm for that. Have I told you about the peanut butter parfait? Add peanut butter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting tweets.
That was a David Flair thing.
Yes. And I'm getting tweets about it all the time. People are saying it's life-changing. I showed one to Megan the other day and she got low-key mad because she's like, we haven't had one all summer. And I was like, well, fuck, baby, you got your choice of cars to go get them whenever they'll even bring them to the house. Like, I'm not telling you can't have it, but you know, Megan got a Peloton, so not a lot of parfait eating going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you can go work out on the Peloton for an hour and that will enable you to eat one.
At least half
without guilt. I did that the other, I did like 17 miles on the bicycle on the trail. I celebrated by eating a medium blizzard.
Strawberries and pineapple.
Because that's, you start putting nuts and peanut butter and chocolate and all that shit in there. Then that's when the calories start.
Well, you know, what's funny is you're going to laugh. My favorite blizzard for a long time, they quit selling it. Was just called the Hawaiian.
Okay. That had pineapples and coconut in it.
Pineapples, coconut, and something else, but it was good. So I haven't tried your strawberry one though, but I'll try that. Strawberries and pineapple. I'm in.
Okay. Lasagna or manicotti?
Oh, lasagna.
Okay.
When it comes to wings, you go in drums or flats?
I go drums.
Drums is the way to go.
Yeah. My wife, and it's funny in the house, my wife likes the flats.
Mine too. That's how we know we married the right people. Elvis or the Beatles?
The Beatles. Sorry.
College or pro football?
College.
We agree.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jacksonville Jaguars. What the fuck was I thinking?
I just let it hang and I was like, I don't even think he realized what he said right there.
I do. Actually, I like all football. Who doesn't? Except maybe the XFL and good luck to the Rock.
Rolls Royce or Bentley?
Would have to be Bentley.
Paddock Philippe or Audemars Piguet?
Run that one by me again.
No thanks. Lex Luger or Diamond Dallas Page? Got to pick one.
Diamond Dallas Page.
You more of a Hall or a Nash guy?
Hall. Because I think Scott Hall is really one of the most maybe underrated best workers ever. And not only that, I knew Scott Hall when he was working for Klondike Bill as a grounds crew assistant. And he has taken some major, how about this? This is pretty good. All these atomic drops.
14 atomic drops in a row. Scott Hall's dick is demolished.
We'll do it again. He's selling it and Luger's not even connecting with it.
By the way, there's a filmmaker who reached out to me about perhaps doing a thing on Scott Hall. And I recommended he talk to you.
Why? Why do I?
Well, because you worked with him from WCW, but also at the very start of his career when he was at Crockett Park. I mean, you and him were both on the baseball fields and then found yourself in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Not bad. And there's a finish. Not a bad little finish. Little swerve finish there. Luger thinks they won. But he hit and he knocked out Diamond Dallas Page.
The confusion continues. Mm-hmm. There's no confusion about this, though. Next week, we're going to be back with Clash of the Champions 20, which, believe it or not, is Andre the Giant's last television appearance. Clash 20. Man, it feels like that was not that long ago, but my goodness, it was. Now that I think about it.
that was from Center Stage. I believe Missy Hyde and I did some outside interviews, and didn't Bruno Sammartino arrive at the same time?
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. Yeah. He pulled out all the stops. Center Stage, the 20th Clash of the Champions. It's also the 20th anniversary of professional wrestling being shown on TBS. It started back in 72. This, of course, went down September 2nd, 1992. We've got Ricky Steamboat and Steve Austin for the World Television title in the first match. Arn Anderson's going to team with Bobby Eaton to take on Dick Slater and Greg Valentine. For the world title, we've got Cactus Jack challenging Ron Simmons. We've also got a tag team match with Butch Reed teaming up with the Barbarian to take on Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. And then in your main event, it's a 4-on-4 elimination match with Rick Rude, Jake Roberts, Super Invader, and Big Van Vader taking on Sting, Nikita Koloff, and the Steiner Brothers. That's coming your way next week when we cover Clash of the Champions 20 from September 2nd, 1992, right there in Atlanta at Center Stage. But Tony, right now, it feels like it's about that time.
1-on-1, it's going to be Elon Musk going up against Tony Schiavone in a pinfalls count anywhere match. And all of a sudden, outside of the ring, we do understand that there is a couple of stipulations, and one is that if Schiavone wins, Elon Musk will drop the price of his most famous and best-selling Tesla. Oh, wait a minute! Elon Musk has hit him from behind with a wrench. Oh my God! Schiavone is out. Elon covers him. 1, 2, 3. Elon Musk is the winner, and he announces that Teslas will now be $225,000 each. Not for the working man, but a damn good car. And we're desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We come to you every Wednesdays on Westwood One and Mondays on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.